There's more infighting even among elected officials. Right now, Matt Gaetz, who is generally speaking quite a talented congressman, Matt Gaetz is going after Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney is the chairman of the Republican caucus. It's technically a leadership position in the House, but it's not a very important one. Liz Cheney, though, voted to impeach Donald Trump. Liz Cheney supports the impeachment of Trump, very much at odds with her caucus, very much at odds with her party. And Matt Gaetz flew to Wyoming to attack Liz Cheney. Take a listen.
I love Wyoming! I think if Liz Cheney had a rally with all of her supporters, they could likely meet inside one of the elevators in the Capitol and still have plenty of room for social distancing. I want to thank Representative Ocean Andrew. His first day as a state representative was yesterday, and he invited me to be here with all of you today. I'd say that's a pretty good start for the young man. I'll confess to you, this is my first time in Wyoming. I've been here for about an hour, and I feel like I already know the place a lot better than your misguided representative, Liz Cheney.
Pretty rough attacks. Now, I know that a lot of people in Washington, a lot of Washington Republicans, they say, come on, stop it, stop the infighting, stop the infighting. And this is where conservatives need to be very focused. We need to be very precise. Do we really want to kick out of the party Liz Cheney and people like Liz Cheney? People who maybe they're more like Bush Republicans. Maybe they're more like Cheney Republicans. I don't know. Maybe they're more foreign policy hawks. I don't know. More liberal Republicans, generally speaking. Do we want to completely kick them out of the party? I think that would be crazy. You wouldn't have enough people. You'd lose more people than I think those of us on the conservative side would be willing to admit. Now, many people on the liberal side want to kick out people like Matt Gaetz, or they want to kick out people like Josh Hawley, or they want to kick out people like Ted Cruz, or they want to who don't even all agree with one another, but they all represent sort of less liberal elements. Do we want to kick those out? No, we can't do it. Do we want a new Patriot Party? That was another suggestion. Should there be a new third party? No. If we had a Patriot Party, you just give all the elections to Democrats. However, you can't let this kind of division just fester and fester and fester. So it would seem to me perfectly reasonable that Liz Cheney should not serve in Republican leadership. I don't think she should be kicked out of the House of Representatives. I don't think she should be kicked out of the Republican Party. But her position on a very, very important issue, the historic, unprecedented second impeachment of the ex-president, her position on that it's too serious. It's too at odds with the party. She cannot make a credible claim to be leading the party. So she should return to be rank and file, and and she should still have her rights to, be exercised within the caucus and within the party. But the conservatives are not going to effectively counter the Biden administration if we have leadership that opposes the conservative base. It's just not going to happen. Matt Gaetz talked about, in this same speech, he talked about something I'd never heard about before, but it's an interesting lens through which to view all of this stuff, the opposition to Fauci, the Robin Hood stuff, the infighting on the GOP. He called it prairie populism.
My grandfather was a small town mayor in not too distant North Dakota. He passed before his time, but not before passing into legend. And he passed along a little wisdom to my dad. My old man calls it prairie populism. Do right by your people. Never sell out. Fight their dislikes. And never let the powerful run over the weak. Inspire people through courage and tell the truth. The truth is that the establishment in both political parties have teamed up to screw our fellow Americans for generations.
I know that there are many Republicans and conservatives that get shivers when they hear this word populism. This is happening. This is something that the American people are sensing, and they are sensing it for good reason. They're sensing that there is something very corrupt about this establishment. Are we really to believe that the educational establishment is totally corrupt, the administrative state is totally corrupt, Hollywood is totally corrupt, but the big tech, totally corrupt, but the financial establishment is like totally fine, 100% totally fine? No. Foreign policy establishment, totally? No, of course not. There is something happening here. Senator Cruz talks about this as the Republican Party becoming the party of Pittsburgh and the Democrats becoming the party of Paris. It's a very, very nice political formulation of that. For most of my life, Republicans have appeared to be the party of plutocrats. Now they are the party of the people. Some people are not adjusting well to that. If the Republican Party is to have an effective governing coalition, an elective coalition moving forward, they have to be able to make that claim. It's why the left is so focused on burying these guys who dare question the establishment and who dare invoke the language of populism. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the subscribe button so everyone wading through the wasteland of YouTube knows that we've got the absolute top content out there.